Hi everyone, can you hear me nice and clearly?
Yes.
Good. Hopefully you guys are having a good time here in South Africa.
Yes.
Very happy that Mark and Natasha actually invited me today. So as you can see, I actually work for a company called Discovery. So as you can see, there's called Discovery, and then my name is Gabrielle Marion dos Santos. Okay, so I just want to get this. Is it not? Oh, okay, thank you. Next slide. All right, so just a little bit about myself so you guys can know where I come from, and well, if you know where Vryheid is though. But Vryheid is a small town in KwaZulu-Natal. I wasn't born in Joburg areas. And then I've been with Discovery for 5 years now. So essentially 2019 I started. I have my master's in industrial psychology, very different to obviously what financial advising is, but that's the path that I got led onto and where I'm at and happy at now. So yeah, next slide please. Okay, so Discovery, I don't know if you've seen or driven around Sandton, there's a building called Discovery, higher up, not too far from the capital. And the sole purpose of Discovery is to make people healthier and to enhance and protect their lives. So now you look at that and you think, what does that even mean? So next slide, please. Okay. So how Discovery does this is we have a program, and that program is called Vitality. With Vitality, what we're saying is we are going to incentivize clients for living a healthier lifestyle. And how we do that is you go to the doctors, you'll get points. You go gymming, you'll get points. With those points, it will accumulate, obviously motivating you to get those points, as well as you living a healthier lifestyle. And then with those points, you'll get discounts on your flights. You'll get discounts at our certain different partners. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but I'm just giving you little bits of it. And then if it is so that you want to have a meeting, we can delve right into it and explain or go through a little bit more. But just the next slide for me, please. This is essentially Vitality. It's a whole journey. Like I say, Discovery, the heart of the company is essentially Vitality. So you will see here, like I said, you'll complete different assessments, you'll get the points for all of that. Next slide, please. So not only do we have the Vitality for the healthy living, we also have Vitality for health, not healthy driving, but driving well. If you drive well, you'll get points, as well as financial. So Discovery also has Discovery Bank. So if you bank well and you're financially savvy, you'll get points. All of these points are accumulating for you to have discounts on your flights and with our different partners. So essentially, it's this whole matrix of everything. What I always say to my clients when I have a meeting, Discovery is like a cult, but a healthy cult, okay? Not a bad cult, it's a healthy cult. And what I say with that is every product that you have, it's always intertwined, it's integrated together. So the one product will bounce off the other one and the other one, giving you that maximization of everything, okay? So essentially what I can do and what I do at Discovery, next slide please. These are the products that I focus at Discovery. You will see here, health, so you'll know that as your medical insurance, so hospitalizations and your GPs. If you need help with that, essentially, that's what I'm here for. So that's not something we can definitely look into. We then have life cover. So life cover will branch into life cover, disability, severe illness. So in the event any of that happens, a payout would be given, in that sense, if you submit a claim. And then thirdly, we have invest. So that's investments. You're looking at your short, medium, and your longer term, which is your retirement planning savings. We have offshore, so we can save in your euros, dollars, and pounds. And we also have in our rands, South African rands, okay? We then also have something recently launched, was Discovery Bank. So Discovery Bank is not, you'll even see when you have the interface of Discovery Bank, it's not your normal banks. Open now for foreigners, that's something that's open now towards the end of the year, which we're very excited for, because there is a lot of foreigners that are into, the Discovery banking. So there's also Discovery Bank. So all of these products is everything that I can sit and discuss with you. And then also if it does come to the business side, for example, if you have employees or if you have business insurance that you need, that is also something that I can assist and guide you with. But for the main parts, everything to do with Discovery, I can be your go-to person. Okay. So the next slide is just to show you some numbers. So as you can see, health has always been around with Discovery. It's the longest standing product, and that was something that started first, as well as with the Vitality program. Like I reiterate, Vitality is the heart of the company. It kind of drives everything with it. Because you see, I think from the insurance company, When you have a product like Vitality, you're motivating your clients to live a healthier lifestyle, right? Essentially you are. Sorry about the chocolates that I handed out. We won't tell them about that. We won't tell them about that one. But essentially, you're living a healthier lifestyle. You're getting in your steps. You're going to the gym. You're getting the points and you're getting rewarded. Which in turn, what does that mean for the company? Less claims, because you're actually technically supposed to be healthier because you are being healthier. You know, so it's kind of like a circle that pleases everybody, the insurance company, you guys as the clients, even the Vitality Drive program. You get points for driving well, no speeding, no harsh cornering. How's that going to help us? Not a lot of road accidents. How does that help the insurance company? Not a lot of claiming. You know, so everything is kind of very much intertwined, and like I say, Vitality is the core. So that is discovery in a nutshell, and that's everything that I can, of course, you know, sit and discuss with you, each on an individual basis. So you'll see with the pens, it's small little business cards. It has my number as well as my email address. So if it is so that you ever want to send me a WhatsApp, or if you want to send me an email, you know, that's of course where you can reach me. Very efficient on WhatsApp as well, or email. So if you ever want to ask me questions there, you know, definitely happy to do so. So now the floor's open to you guys if you have any questions for me. You've got a good insight into these questions. Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
That they don't know the difference.
Okay.
To know to ask. Tell them the difference between a public hospital and a private
Okay.
hospital.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the private hospitals and the public hospitals, you will see for yourself if you have to ever see it. Very different, very separated hospitals. Your public hospitals, there isn't enough, how can I say, because I even have a lot of my friends that have studied medicine, so now they're actually doctors as well. There's not enough equipment for them to operate on people. The mentality in the public hospital is just to turn numbers. If you're close to dying, I'm not trying to be funny, but you're going to be kind of shunted to the side, because there's not enough staff, there's not enough equipment, there's not enough money for them to pay the doctors, so they can't hire, but they need the doctors. You know what I'm saying? So public, you don't want to land up in a public hospital. You don't know if you're going to get the care that you're supposed to be getting. Hence why a lot of people come and they go for then the medical aid, the health insurance. Now, the only thing with the health insurance, okay, we'll go to the medical aid and I'll tell you about that. Private hospitals, cleaner facilities, well looked after. You know what I'm saying? Better equipment, less chances of dying. Plain in English, you know, plain and simple. Trying to put it out. So now the thing is, when you guys have to apply for medical aid, how it works is you'll actually get something called late joiner penalties. Already planting the seed so you can be wary of these terminologies. Late joiner penalties are imposed on not just non-South Africans, South Africans as well, from the age of 35. If you've never had medical aid before, you'll get late joiner penalties. Depending on the years, it would be 5, 10, 50, 75%, over and above what the premium is. So let's, for example, say I give you a quote of a medical aid and it's 2,000 Rand. If you're above the age of 35 and you've never had a medical aid registered with Discovery, it would be plus then whatever the amount of years you haven't been registered with a medical aid with South Africa. It's not just a Discovery rule, it's any medical aid that you go for. So, one thing I say, I'm standing here today and I'm obviously speaking about Discovery, but I always say to my clients, Discovery is not the be all and end all. There is other insurance companies out there, and I only can speak about Discovery. But in the event that you want to look around and shop around, I always say go do it. You never know what else is out there. If there is something that's going to be a little bit cheaper, you can always come and say, Gabs, I found this. Okay, cool. Let me compare to what Discovery is going to offer and explain the differences to you. You know, so that's definitely, do your homework, expand. Even if you come with me with 2, 3 different companies, very happy to sit down with you and say, okay, pros and cons there, pros and cons here, and explain everything. And at the end of the day, your interest is best at heart, if that makes sense. What is best for you? You can ask Natasha and Mark, because I'm their broker. It's, you know, interest of the client. And obviously leading and guiding you to what makes sense, and also financially sense. I always say, my role as a financial advisor, I always think, especially I think South Africans, they hear financial advisor or broker, it's a red flag. They're like, oh, they're just after my money. They're just gonna come after this and this. But I'm here for you, and you will see as we work, you know, obviously building trust is something that's very important, which you can only see when you work with me, but obviously you will see that as we go along. But anyway, sorry, deviating. Public-private, obviously you want to go to private hospitals at the end of the day. Like I said, less chances of dying because people will actually look after you. And to get into private hospitals, very expensive, hence then there's medical aid, okay? Yeah.
Okay. So, like in the U.S., do y'all know what private hospitals are in the U.S.? Y'all see them?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, huh? And they're everywhere, and they're really expensive, and your insurance doesn't really cover much once you get there, because you got massive co-pays, and you got to get all these authorizations, and all these great, wonderful things. And I'm not saying that you don't need to get authorizations, but when you go on the private side, the public side is where the people who don't have insurance, that's that free health insurance. And believe it or not, from an insurance perspective, since we used to deal with insurances all the time as owning a medical healthcare facility, I used to do it all the time. There's levels inside of it. Even though the cards look the same, some covers more, some covers less. It's pretty interesting how it all works. My point I'm trying to make to you is I believe, first of all, the healthcare system, especially the private healthcare system, is pretty robust. Would you agree? You're not short of anything.
On the private side?
On the private side, yeah.
I would say you're pretty covered.
Yes.
Pretty covered. In comparison to the public.
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
and then as far as, like, for example, I know people probably think, okay, well, what do you get? Like, what do you get? So can you expound on them? What do they get between the medical savings and the dentals and all this, which is included in your plan?
Yes, yeah.
And you can plus up if you choose.
Yes. Okay. So how it comes with the medical aid, like I said, you are covered in hospital, but the medical aid, okay, so you have different plans, of course, and with the different plans, you will also have a plan that's just hospital plan that will cover you for in-hospitalization. What does that mean? You land up in hospital and you go to the specialist, you've had a heart attack, you need a heart stents, you'll be covered by the medical aid. That's why the medical aid is there. And then as well as day-to-day benefits. So you need to see the GP, the general practitioner, the doctor. That will be covered there. We do have dentistry cover. We do. If it's done in hospital and it's a day hospital. If it is, for example, anything to do with cosmetics, Discovery does not cover. Unless your doctor, for example, will say that you need to have it because it's a life-threatening situation, you of course then will get a motivational letter, and that's a different scenario that we'll go into. But essentially you would be covered for your day-to-day. Any chronic medication, if you're on any chronic medicine, you will be covered for that as well. There's 27 conditions that we cover. That also sparks another thing. If it is so that you have a pre-existing condition, what does that mean? If you have diabetes, if you have anxiety, depression, for example, you now want to join the medical aid. That will be an exclusion. What does that word mean? That means for 12 months, you cannot claim or go see anyone for that condition. All right, it's called an exclusion. For 12 months for a pre-existing condition. You will then also have a 3-month general waiting period, and that's what everyone has, even South Africans, for example. Because you've never had medical aid, 3-month waiting period is you can't use your medical aid because of you've never had it. So they give you 3 months that you cannot touch it. But there's something called prescribed minimum benefits, PMBs. You'll be covered for. That is now accidents. You land up with an emergency, you land up in hospital. They're not going to deny you in the private care. You are covered, you know. So with regards to the private sector, you'll go to your doctor. They will give you some codes, and then we get the authorization and we load it at the, you know, we phone in with Discovery, they load it, and everything will be covered for. Now, one thing that you must be very mindful of, you will see that doctors or GPs or specialists in South Africa, they're not charging the normal rates. They don't charge, they charge because they've studied many years, they've got so much industry knowledge. They're not going to just charge. So you'll see that with our plans, it's going to get a bit technical now. We have a 200% cover and a 100% cover. Sometimes specialists are charging 400%, you know, so then it might need gap cover, another product under medical aid. So like I said, that's now really going into, which I'll sit obviously on a one-to-one basis. But as long as you know like some of the key words that I'm using, waiting period, your pre-existing conditions, you know, because the last thing we need to do, and I know with other American clients that I actually had, you know, also met through Mark and Natasha that they, you know, sent my way, you know, when they heard about waiting periods, they're like, what is this now? Why must I have this? And, you know, the penalties, you know, because you see one price and then you get the penalties, now you're penalized. And you're penalized up until the day you pass away, unfortunately. It's not a discovery rule, it is a Medical Aid Act. You know, it's in the law that they have the Medical Aid Act. So I just want to emphasize that it's not just a discovery rule. So yeah, as much as, you know, everyone would want to have medical aid in South Africa, it does get quite pricey. So you will see some people don't even really have medical aid in place, you know. So, like I say, if you can afford it, that's obviously the best route to go into to make sure you're covered, because you don't want to land up in a government hospital. You need to be in a private hospital to get that care, to make sure everything will go well. You know what I'm saying? But I'm obviously not oblivious to finances and all of those things that come with it. You need to see what suits your budget and what works for you.